good sneeze. Then relax your forehead and relax the corners of your mouth. Relax your eyelids. Relax your fingers. Little smile. Try to keep that smile. And then come to your breath. Long exhales. Then please invite your heart teacher to come sit in front of you. Could be someone from the past, historical teacher, or someone you knew earlier in your life. Could be someone you haven't met yet, the perfect teacher for you. or it could be someone that we are fortunate to have in our life now. And let them come sit with you, quiet and peaceful and enjoyable. Then bow down to them by thinking of something you really like about them. You can tell them in your heart what it is. Then make them an offering, maybe. I think it's very, very good offering to offer the 3-day retreat you did. So those retreats are very, very important in your life. It's good if you can do at least 2 or 3 per year, a weekend or 5 days. And offer that beautiful practice to your teacher. Then open up your heart to your teacher, almost literally split it open, and show them something you're not so happy about yourself, some bad habit you have. Ask them to help you get over this. Then think of some good habit you have. Tell your Lama, thank them, and really try to enjoy this good side of yourself, this good part. It's important. Then ask your teacher to teach you. Share with you. At the same time, appreciating that they are coming from you. And you will have to share with others to have a good teacher. Then ask them to stay in your life. influencing me for the better. Then I'd like you to think about something you would like to achieve in your life during the next month, during May. May is a beautiful time in most parts of the world of new beginnings, spring. And think of some change you'd like to make in your life, or some goal you'd like to reach. Personally, I have this dream of making more time to do the things I want to do. It's not that I feel nervous or pressure. I just would like to do more things. I'd like time to slow down a little bit, have more time during the day to do the many things I enjoy. So try to decide on some goal for the next month. Could be a negative goal, could be I'm having trouble getting along with this person and I would like to, by the end of the month, I'd like to be their friend, something like that. Then consciously take refuge. Decide, I will take refuge to reach my goal. Or I will take refuge to solve this problem I have. And really refuge is deciding that this thing you want or this thing you want to improve is empty. It's not going to be one way or the other by itself. It's not going to happen. It's going to follow your seeds. Then make a little plan in your mind. 4 steps, always 4 steps, about achieving this dream you have. So take it slow, just relax your body, park your body, go through the 4 steps slow. Sometimes I think we don't even have time to think about them. And make a little plan for yourself for when you go home from this beautiful place. And how am I going to take refuge? By using the 4 steps. For this dream I have for May, the month of May. Don't forget to plan your coffee meditation in the evening from the month of May. It's a good way to fall asleep, thinking about good things you've done, helpful for other people. Then ask your Lama to come to your heart. You know what to do. Bring them down your central channel and bring them into a tiny globe, crystal globe the size of a grain of sugar in your heart. Then please come back to your breath, 3 long breaths, 3 long exhales. Don't open your eyes yet. Then you can open your eyes, take a stretch. All right then. We have some schedule changes. It's still windy, And it looks like it's going to be windy into the evening. And so we had an idea. I've never done a fire puja in the morning. And I thought it might be nice. So we're going to do one at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And you can come or you can sleep, okay? If you come, you're going to be grumpy on the plane. That's okay. Just don't take United. And then, that's my airline, by the way. I'm super, super duper diamond gold status. Anyway, they treat me nice. Sometimes. So, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, okay? Same place out here. We'll have snacks there, okay? We'll have some kind of breakfast stuff there, okay? And you don't have to be at attention the whole time. You know, you can just walk around and, you know, eat some scrambled eggs and, okay? And enjoy, okay? Maybe we just serve the breakfast here, okay? In the Jetson Karpa Center. You can come and go, okay? To the puja. And, but there's a blackmail. We have to make a deal. I need 10 people at 5 o'clock. Actually 12. 2 to... So, Chunzom, stand up, write, get a piece of paper, write these names down. Okay.
You need to. Okay.
5 o'clock. It's still dark. To help get the puja ready. Okay? 12 people. I need at least 3 boys to carry heavy stuff. Well, Wordsworth, 3 boys. I guess Chunsan wants you to sign the paper. Okay. If you're a boy, put a check mark. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
How will those people all get from their cottages to someplace at Friday?
Ask the Diamond Mountain staff. Sounds good. We're doing all this planning without Melissa and Michael, right? I hope they don't mind. So breakfast should be available from about 7 o'clock. So people can just walk over and eat and come back to the fire, okay? Then we don't try to do all that around the fire, it's too messy. Okay. Then today, Aaron, where's Aaron? I'm not supposed to, am I doing yoga today? No.
Are we doing debate again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So am I doing yoga? No. I'm
No.
teaching.
Yeah, you were teaching today.
Mm,
No, JB's teaching.
JB.
Yeah.
Okay,
Here
good.
tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, it works out. So I'm going to do yoga hooky, and me and Adam, okay? 10:30, Kasida, and Nick, and Aaron, you can come, and Tyrone? Where's Tyrone? He probably over rock and rolled him yesterday. I need him too, yeah. The thing we were trying to do last night, because we have to do it for the spirits in the morning. Okay. And Michael, so we need that stuff at 10:30 after this class. And two or three boys to help Michael. We'll work it out. Okay. All right. Don't forget at 12:15 we have a waffle eating contest for everybody who made a donation. So please try to make your donation before 12:15. What else? We have a nice debate for you today, 4 o'clock. Okay? Me and the team, debate team. If you're on the Diamond Mountain or ACI board, we have a meeting at 5:45. Okay?
It's just the Diamond Mountain board meeting.
It's Diamond Mountain for half an hour, and then.
ACI is on Sunday.
But we don't have a combined meeting or something like that? Not necessary?
It's just Diamond Mountain today.
Okay. Diamond Mountain board, 5:45. And if you come, you get dinner. Okay. And then the rest of the schedule is what it was supposed to be. So whatever your schedule says is still correct. Tomorrow, early fire puja. Okay? And you don't have to come, if you feel stressed out packing and you're tired, and you don't have to come. It's just for fun. Okay? And don't forget to wear a hat, put on sunscreen, wear sunglasses, okay? And if you feel too hot or uncomfortable, you can come in here and eat some more and then go back. Daniel has a question.
Is this still tentative on the local spirit schedule?
We have an idea. Oh, and we decided, me and Chunzo, if it's really windy, we'll just offer the stuff anyway, without the fire. And then our friends will be happy with that. The wild pigs, okay. By the way, they're really cute and they have very powerful teeth, so don't try to pet them, okay. Don't bother them. In the desert, everybody's friendly if you don't bother them, okay? Including Diamond Mountain stuff. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if you want to, you can add 2 extra things to the fire at the end. One is, if you did some bad stuff in the last few months or lifetimes, you can you can write it down and offer it to the fire, okay, at the end of the fire offering. Just put some gasoline on it if it's too big. And then I like to throw in some money, paper money, because no, I'm not supposed to say that online. Always follow the rules of your government. Okay. Anyway, it's a fun offering sometimes. Because it's really sacrificing something that you need, that you can use, right? Okay. What was the other thing? I don't remember. If I think of it all. Yeah. Today in the afternoon, we're going to have I never cared much about my weight. I was just, have good metabolism. I'd like to eat everything I can eat. But as I get older, it's slowing down. And so I wanted to do a cleanse for my kidneys and my liver. And so I asked Anatole, who's the expert at this kind of stuff, he does it all the time, to give me a suggestion. And then he wrote something down. And I lost 15 pounds in the last 2 weeks. How many kilos is that?
Divided by 2.
Oh, it's about 7 kilos or something like that. And I feel really good and light, and my yoga's better, and my meditation's better. I'm a nicer person. So people ask me if I could share it. And so me and Adriana are gonna teach it to you in the afternoon, Adriana? Is that good? What time is that? 2 o'clock? Okay. And can you bring some paper cups also, and we can share the... Or maybe we don't want them to taste it. But then if you want to try it sometime, you can try it. Huh? 2 o'clock? It's at the front end of the Lamrim class. And we won't take the whole class time, just some time. Good? Okay. Yeah. Something else. We have a plan to do it right here, Julia Child style. You like those TV cooking shows. Okay. She's gonna wear a mini skirt and an apron. Okay, just the apron. I mean, with a... Anyway, you know what I mean. All right. Let's do some Lamrim or confession. Okay. Actually, this part of the Lamrim is the vows, the 12 vows of refuge. So I taught them a little bit in Thailand. And try to learn them today well, because then you can teach them to other people. Okay? So all of you can give vows to other people. Anybody in this room can give vows, refuge vows to other people. You don't have to be a monk or a nun, okay? You can give refuge vows. So it's a very sweet gift to give to someone. And it's cool to give people a new name. It's like baptized over again, you know, born again. You get a new name. And so you can do it. Anybody here can do it. But I think it's nice to know the refuge vows. And I don't give people refuge unless they heard the vows correctly first. Okay? So you should know the vows. And you shouldn't give refuge unless you've explained the vows first. Okay? There's a bad custom in the world of lamas giving tantric initiations to people they don't even know. It's supposed to be a very close relationship between the student and the teacher. It binds them together forever. It's more serious than getting married. So you should know the Lama, and the Lama should know you for many years before they give you initiation. There's some like, what do you call it? Just kind of like good luck initiation. That's okay. Give to 5,000 people or something, like the Kala Chakra. That's okay. That's a different thing. That's called Mendope Saban. What's that? Yeah, plant an unstoppable seed for the future. They can get a real initiation, okay? So that's okay. That's okay. But in general, if you take a secret initiation or you give one, you should explain the vows, okay? Because any Anuttara initiation, higher initiation that you get, you have to take the vows, whether you know about them or not, okay? You get the vows in the initiation, And then oftentimes some teachers, it seems like they don't teach the student the vows, okay? And if you don't keep the vows, you get terrible trouble. And if you keep them, the tantric initiation works. And the vows are based on, guess what? Refuge vows, okay? Plain old morality, okay? And being nice to other people, okay? So, anyway, it's kind of weird. I heard of a Lama, someone met them in the airport, some big Lama, and they were leaving on a plane in 20 minutes, and they said, will you give me refuge? And they like blah, 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 and gave them a name and got on the plane. And that's not good, okay? You should explain the vows. So anybody in this room, and all the centers, Singapore, New York, you can give refuge vows. It's very sweet. But you should explain the vows before you give them. So don't do the ceremony in a rush, take 2-3 hours. Have a nice big breakfast. And explain the vows slowly, carefully, answer all their questions. And then take refuge, okay? Good? Like all pratimoksha vows, you only have to take them once in your life. And technically you cannot take them again unless you lose them. But sometimes for good luck I will give people refuge vows again, just for good luck. But technically you keep them your whole life. You can't lose them, okay? Alright, here we go. Unless you decide to give them up. That's your choice, okay? Okay. Are you okay, Nick? Yeah. Here are the rules. Here, labja doesn't mean trainings. Here, labja means rules for taking refuge. Sosa labja dan tumongi labja. Then there are individual rules and there are combined rules. Anybody want to guess what that means while I drink my coffee? What do you think? The individual and the share. Yeah. But what's it mean?
The individual are for the individuals, and the share that goes for the individuals and the other people outside.
Oh, think of the 12 refuge commitments and give me a better answer.
They're concerned with other people.
No. There's a set of refuge vows that are particular to a different jewel. This one's for Sangha jewel, this one's for Dhamma jewel, this one's for Buddha jewel. And then there's refuge vows that combine all the jewels. Okay? Here we go. Number 1. Damboni. And these are, if you notice, the refuge vows start off with negative vows. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Okay? Then they go into positive vows. Okay? Damboni Sangye la Kyamsu Songne. This is refuge vow number 1. Okay. Once you have taken refuge in the Buddha jewel, Jikten Behla la Kyapchu la Sok Miche. Don't take refuge in other useless things. That's all. Okay? Like cell phone. Okay? And that for you guys taking refuge is going to be harder. If the student was not trained, Shung Chemola Turpa Mena, if they don't have training in the great teachings like Nagarjuna or Tsongkhapa, then you can say, don't go to a Baptist church if you're Catholic, or something like that, okay? And that's a simple and low way to explain it. You guys have a more serious responsibility. You have to try not to think of things as coming from themselves. Like cell phone doesn't work from its own side. Cell phone works because you helped a couple that was arguing, or you helped someone communicate with their parents better last week. That's why your cell phone works, okay? You can drop your cell phone and it will work if you have the right seats. I dropped my computer yesterday. Boom. It's fine. Okay? Cell phone works if you help other people to communicate, okay? So your responsibility as super well-trained refuge takers is to try to not take refuge in things. Okay? Take refuge in doing good. Okay? The world is made of kindness, not atoms. Okay? That's our viewpoint. Okay? So that's the first vow. Once you take refuge in the Buddha, don't take lower refuges. Okay? It doesn't mean that you can't take medicine, or it doesn't mean that you can't go to a marriage counselor, or okay? It doesn't mean that. Yes, sir.
Thank you for teaching. In the beautiful meditation we did just now, where we wanted to focus what we wanted to achieve in May, I realized that whatever popped into my mind was a kind of refuge before applying refuge to it.
Yeah, good.
So I'm like, when I'm going to refuge, I'm wanting this stuff. So.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine?
Yeah. I mean, the purpose of refuge is to get all the things we want. And the books always say, nekap dan tartuk. The things we want. I want a coffee this morning. I want a certain kind of coffee, AeroPress, with 1.5 the normal coffee. Like we discussed it before I came to class. And that's okay. You know, this Buddhist thing that you should be unhappy, or you shouldn't go shopping, or Starbucks is evil, or, you know, try to get over that. Yeah, it's fine.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, want things, then get them in a beautiful way. Okay. These Buddha paradises, they're not like cement rooms with no furniture. Okay, got it? They're always like, there's coffee in there somewhere. These fruits here are the sense objects, okay? Okay? Alright, okay. Alright, Kyabchu was Sok Miche. Tata Gelong Gare Kyan Tama Dikshik Chungna Utupana Jitem Belhaten Tsar Somne. So he was referring to a lot of this book is cultural, Tibetan cultural. It doesn't apply directly to us, but maybe we can find something there, okay? So in a Buddhist monastery in Tibet, monks will, if they get a small problem, they will take refuge and try to use the 4 steps. Then if the problem gets more serious, they'll go to fortune tellers and, you know, get their, what do you call it, fortune told, and, you know, weird people. I saw it in the monastery. We have a oracle. In our monastery we have a really good oracle. And people will go to this oracle. One day I was asked to translate for the oracle. He was the secretary of the monastery. He's very nerdy. I don't know, like Tim or something. You know, and he's very, you know, mild and happy guy, and he's quiet, he works very nice, and he was the secretary. And then, you know, once a month he'll do the oracle thing, and he goes to a special temple, small temple, and he wears a whole ancient warrior's outfit with a sword, the real thing. And then he goes into trance, you know, and he's like, and you have to stay away from him because he can actually hurt you, seriously. You have to be in the room, but you gotta watch, because sometimes he'll go crazy, you know, and he hurts people. You gotta be careful. And he's just controlled his like stuff coming out. And so I was asked to translate for this Canadian lady, you know, and I went in there and I was like, stay back, okay? I'll stay between you and the guy. And there are all these monks there, you know. And then she asked him, she was trying to find a boyfriend or something like that. And so she came in and we did this, we started the ritual. And there are actually 2-3 guys hold him down. Try to hold him down so he won't. It takes 2-3 big guys. He's not a big guy, but when he gets the oracle inside of him, you need. So we started and he was like, these guys are holding him, and he's got this sword and then I said, okay, ask a question, And she says, I'm really looking for a partner in my life, He's like, he's like, okay, first, decide what you want. Number 2, choose somebody else. Number 3, serve them at Starbucks. Number 4, do coffee meditation. She's like, okay. Then he's like, don't forget, study Lam Rim. Study Lam Rim. She's like, okay, I'll do. Then I'm like, it was so funny. Then she was in the monastery for like 3 weeks, listening to Lam Rim. It wasn't enough. She wanted to hear it from an oracle, So don't be like that, okay? He says that some monks that get a problem, they go to some weird guy and they, oh, tell me my future. In China, you guys do it a lot, It's a waste of time. My Lama said, you want to know your future? Check your 6 times book. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Chikten Besatasan. Chagmar Gurgurdu. Tsawani. And they bow down to these oracles, Chepe Kang Tam Bayende. Se Kang Tang. Adam, you should still be marking stuff for the dictionary, or online dictionary, okay? So Kang Tang. Kang means leg. Tang means to pull. And it means a disgrace. It's the Tibetan word for disgrace. It's the monastic word for disgrace. You are pulling down the legs of the Sangha. It means you are a disgrace, You're a Buddhist, you understand refuge, you know the 4 steps. You should be at Starbucks, but you're in the oracle's room. You should be at Starbucks, but you went to the oracle instead. Understand? Okay, then that's a disgrace, Somebody took a lot of DCI courses and then when they have a problem, they run to a fortune teller. This is a disgrace, okay? You should be embarrassed. Okay, all right. Gurgugu Tsawani Chupe Kangdang means you are pulling down the leg of the Dharma people. Okay, Chupa. Ngar Shepatar Kyabla Nin Zen Sam Chungna Rangyuki Kyamdo Domba Jigdoi. When you run to a fortune teller and you split your refuge object, right? You say, I have Buddha, Dharma, Sangha refuge object, and I have a fortune teller refuge object. Then he says, Nangbe Domba Jig, you destroy your refuge vows. And then Nangbe Telne Pu, okay, you should write that one, Adam. Telne Pu, Gral, Karatatala, Tel, Nasane, Ba Shakyu Bu. Telne Bu means you just spit yourself out of the Buddhists. Okay? You got kicked out of Buddhist by who? By you. Okay. Right? It's a tough word. It's a kind of a rough word. You got kicked out, by yourself. All right. You split your refuge object. Okay. All right. Unkyang Slalu Gyansen Sogla Tonma Dang Sang Sur Tangne Chutun Ki Tok Chulwatsam Rungyang. Then he says it's okay to make tormas and offer them to the local spirits. It's not like you're going for refuge, right? So that's not Chutun means that's okay if you do it with an understanding that the wind spirits are not going to help you if you don't have the seeds. Okay? Okay? But don't like put all your faith in local spirits. Okay? Lu means, Hla means local spirits. Here it's Deva, but it means local spirits. Lu means Nagas. Gyan Ten means like power, spirits of power. Torma, you can offer that. Sang, I've made a note here, is to burn juniper. Sur is some kind of cheese, torma. Okay. Tangne, Chuten, Kidrok, Samrung. That's okay, but Kyapsadro me good. But don't take refuge in them. Don't put all your hopes in some local spirit. Okay. Shenla, Nyambaterne, Lege Rok Chulwa la Kyapsadro me gopadang da. Shenla Nyambaterne, Lege Rok Chulwa la Kyapsadro me gopadang da. So, when he just says it's inappropriate, for example, to go to a government official and pay them some money to try to get something, okay? That's not real refuge, okay? Paying a torma making deals with local spirits is not taking refuge, okay? Okay. What is that? Oh, yeah. Sur, I looked up sur. It's an offering of cheese, and it has what they call the 3 white elements and the 3 red elements. And I looked them up. The 3 white elements are yogurt, milk, and butter. And the 3 red ones, I thought it was some kind of tantric thing, but it's not. I asked Geshe Lothar on the phone. He said it's something like honey, sugar, and kur means, what do they call that in India? Jaggery? It's a chunk of brown sugar, really tasty. That's one of the best sugars in the world. Okay, all right. So I gotta fix this notes. So it's not meat and blood and all that stuff. Honey, sugar, and brown sugar hunks. It's good for cooking, Indian cooking. What's that? Really? Same thing? Oh.
It's like a molasses.
Cool, yeah. And what do you call that stuff? Mole? You use it in mole? Yeah. You have to make me a mole someday. Show me your grandmother's secret recipe. Real tantra. Okay. All right. Okay. I made a mistake on the notes here. This should say. Oh, I corrected it. Yeah. That's weird. Chilakapsa Songne, once you've taken refuge in the Dharma, don't hurt anybody, including animals, okay? Gal says somebody snuck into the bottom of the compost thing. Yeah, they made a tunnel, just like that gang guys in Mexico. They broke into my compost. Anyway, that will explain the watermelon rinds around your whole neighborhood. Okay. I think I got them all. Nerdse Miche. Nerdse Yang, I also broke one of your dishes, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, I'm confessing. Nerdse Yang Sokchu Dungdeg Tropa Sok Nurpache Dachi. Then obviously, I don't have to tell you that it's wrong to beat living beings, to hit living beings, to strike a living being. to kill a living being. I don't have to tell you that. Okay, obviously you can't be a meat eater and keep this vow. Okay, obviously you can't be a meat eater and keep this vow. Okay. Sok nupa chepa tachi. What we're going to talk about this afternoon is there's just some things that shouldn't be food that are foods. Okay, they shouldn't be foods. Like, shouldn't eat them. Okay. We don't eat people's meat, right? That would be weird, right? I think 100 years from now they will say we were really weird in these days, you know. The early American, what do you call it? These very smart people like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they kept slaves, human slaves. And then if you ask them why you keep a slave, they will say, this is not a person. You know, they believe that. These big enlightened guys who made America, you know, they believe that. 100 years later, 200 years later, we say, oh my God, these guys were crazy. You know, that was really ignorant, super stupid, extreme stupid. Shintunine kupa. And then I think 100 years from now, people will look at us and say, can you imagine they used to grow cows and kill them? And it was so weird, you know. Okay. Then, yeah.
What about milk?
My theory of milk is they have to be kept pregnant to make the milk. When they're kept pregnant, they have babies. If they have male babies, they kill them immediately because they can't make milk. There is places where they take care of the cows forever. You know, there are places in the United States, in New York, for example, New York State, where they will take care of the cows. They won't kill them, and they'll take care of them. I don't know if it's nice to make them pregnant all the time, but generally, when you're trying to decide whether something is right or wrong, see what that food does to you. Okay, and I think like meat makes you unhealthy. Okay, all right. Miupi Gawa means inordinate tax, a tax which is not fair. Okay, that's also hurting other people. Not paying your taxes. Okay, it's hurting everybody. And to mistreat animals. Okay. So once you've taken refuge in the Dharma, we shouldn't hurt animals either. Okay. I'm going to go for 5 more minutes and we'll take a break. So those of you with PP, 5 more minutes. Then, you know, a sign of successful refuge is that you're nice to other people, okay? If you understand emptiness, what's a sign you understand emptiness? Do your eyes go up in the top of your head? And sometimes you go like this. What's a sign you understand emptiness? You treat people nice, okay? Okay? You become much nicer. Okay, it's not some weird thing, okay? Right. If people are empty, they're coming from you. If they're coming from you, they're coming from your seeds. If they're coming from your seeds, you should plant nice seeds. Unless you like being around irritating people. Got it? Therefore, people who understand emptiness are just nice. And that's a sign of someone who understands emptiness or who takes refuge. Okay. All right, negative vow number 3 relating to Sangha. Gendun la kyapsu songwe dro mutek dam min dropate. Once you take refuge in the Sangha, as we said to Elizaveta's question, try not to, if you have choice, try to hang around people who understand seeds. Okay? That's all. Try to hang around people who understand seeds. It doesn't mean you should hate other people. It doesn't mean you can't talk to your uncle if they don't understand seeds. It doesn't mean that. Never use religion as an excuse to dislike people, okay? It's all fine, you know. You should learn to fit in with people that you're with, okay? Without, you know, doing bad things, but, you know. When you're with normal guys, you should talk about football, okay? That's okay. Make them comfortable. Learn a little bit about football, okay? And, you know, when you go to your family's holidays, then you can talk about football. That's okay. And don't use religion as an excuse to dislike other people, okay? Or to say they're not us, okay? But people you hang around with day to day, if they're people who understand seeds, then they will keep you on the right track, okay? All right. Pundir mute pangu me kyan de dan chandawa konjo tang lende serwa de chang edena I eden. You should write that down, Adam. Eden. Really, when we write it, it's eden. When you say it, it's like this. Ayin. You know, do you believe in Buddha? I ain't so sure, you know. Maybe yes, maybe no, you know. Do you think the best way to fix an air conditioner is to help other people with fixing their stuff? You know, ayin means, could be, but I don't know. It's kind of weird, you know. Like wishy-washy in English, you know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, okay? Like that. Ayin. Denda lama dan geshe kadewa daki shepatsan yin serwa. Then he says there's a very bad habit in Tibet where somebody will come up and say, you know, my friend's looking for a partner. Okay, then you say, okay, I have a suggestion. What? My Lama said they should go to the nursing home and visit lonely people, you know. And then this person, these are we call reasonable devils. Reasonable devils, you know. They'll say, what? And you say, you know, my Lama said if you want to find a partner, then go to the nursing home and visit lonely people, you know. And then they'll say, you know, it sounds nice, and I understand that your Lama wants you to visit nursing homes. It's probably it's just a way to get you to go to the nursing home, you know. It's unreasonable to believe that would get you a partner. Okay? This kind of very reasonable person. Not like we say the devil comes that way. Buddhism says the devil comes that way. You know, you want to see a demon, they're not like, ah. They're like, you know, it sounds cool, it's very sweet, I really respect your Lama. It's a really nice thought, it's really sweet, but you know, come on. You know, it's just, he just wants you to go to the nursing home. Don't expect to get a partner. Come on, be reasonable, be practical. When someone says be practical, you should run away. That's a demon. Demon came. Be practical. Don't look at ants all day. What are you thinking? What is wrong? You know, be practical. Okay. Yepe dedaktan jokti minyan. D means hang out with those people. Don't hang out closely with those people. Okay. All right. 2 more minutes. Rangre semla temba matobe. We are not so strong in our understanding of the seed system. We are not that strong. We are influenced by other people. Okay. My brother killed himself. And he went to Hawaii because he was a really good surfer. You know, and I went to be with him for a few months before he died. And we surfed some big waves. You know, one day we broke both our surfboards in half on this wave, and but he had some really weird friends, you know, and they were doing drugs and stealing things, and you know, and I thought something's gonna happen. You know, these people are weird. You know, it's not good for him. So don't, you know, be careful who you put around you. You know, be careful who you hang out with. If you have a bad habit, if you have a weakness like alcohol or something, or anything, it's very common to find friends who support that habit. You know, they'll say, "Come on, you're strong. Let's go have a drink." You know, and you're strong enough. It's not going to kill you. You know, and then so be careful getting close to people who have the same weaknesses that you have. Okay, try to hang around people who are stronger. If you want to lose weight, hang out with Anatole. Okay? Don't hang out with someone who's going to give you chocolate bars all day. Okay? All right? Okay. All right. Dedaki kala tene longyo nyenyope. So our tendency is that if we stay close to people who have the same bad habits that we have, it will spread to us. Okay? Dog ngendan denda dan gyang sing good. Keep them at a distance. Keep them at a distance. It doesn't mean hate them, it doesn't mean be unfriendly to them, but keep a little personal space from them. Don't quite buy into their view of the world. Okay? So it's important to know how to keep a distance and still be sweet and friendly, but keep a little distance. Okay? All right. But do try to stay close to the bathroom. So we'll take a break, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. See you at 9:45.
Geshe, the other day when we were talking about Buddhist images, and you mentioned that there was one, very first one in some book. I was wondering if you had the picture you could show us?
Yeah. So I've been really working hard on the Wheel of Life because we want to do a book. Hector's helping with it, and so I've been reading all the old sutras on the Wheel of Life. Vasubandhu wrote a very beautiful long commentary, and if you know Vasubandhu, he's most famous for Abhidhamma, which he didn't believe in. He was asked to write it by his brother, who was a Sangha, and he didn't believe it, so it's kind of, his style is cramped. But when he gets to the Wheel of Life, the 12 links, it's a long, long commentary. It took me several months to finish it, and it's awesome. It's unbelievable. And you see Vasubandhu as a different person, more like a rock and roll guy. You know, he's not this little Abhidharma, you know. And so, sorry Stanley. He's doing the Abhidharma Kosha. But anyway, I found several references that say that the first rendering of the Buddha in this world was the Wheel of Life. So the Buddha, which is now up in the corner of the Wheel of Life, in those days, the main image was Lord Buddha, and the wheel was a little tiny piece on the painting. So, you know, by tradition, that's the very first image of the Wheel of Life, and the first image of the Buddha in this world. I don't know how similar the current paintings of the Buddha in the Wheel of Life are to the historical Buddha, and we're working on that. We're working on finding some early paintings. Two more things. According to those sources, the first written Buddhist books are the Wheel of Life. The two verses at the bottom are the first thing that the Buddha wrote down. You see, because he was an oral teacher, And so that's some of the first written Buddhist teachings are also on the Wheel of Life. And some of the earliest statuary of the Buddha is Gandharvan, which is the custom of the Buddhists of Afghanistan and Pakistan. And Xuanzang walked through those areas on his way to India. And those are interesting Buddhas because they look more like Western people. And the earliest statue I've seen of Vajrapani looks like Winston Churchill or something. So it just makes you aware that how people paint the Buddha or Jesus, they usually, when the British were the world's power, they painted Jesus like a British man. But he was a dark-skinned, Jew, right? In the Middle East, he probably had a big nose and black hair, and he was strong because he was a carpenter. So it just different people paint the Buddha in their own image, and I don't think it's so bad. I think maybe it's okay. There is a tradition in Tibet and there are ancient scriptures about the correct dimensions, like from here to here and here to here, and that's why Tibetan painters will paint that grid, because there's rules about to make it correct. But I think in modern times it would be interesting to interpret the Buddha's face, and so we're doing a paperback version of this big red book, so people can afford it. And I'm going to send Scott to Nick. I'll send you the picture of Tsongkhapa. What's the internet here, Scott? Oh boy? Oh, you don't want to tell everybody. I'll give it to you on a flash drive. No, I'll give it to you. Can you have a flash drive? I have a flash drive.
I'm on AirDrop.
Yeah, but that's too complicated for me. Oh, people over 40. You want to just drop it to yourself here. Sorry.
So where is the earliest rendering of the Wheel of Life with Buddha's picture?
Oh, no, that's a question. So we're working on that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Our team, our German team, Sylvia Engelhardt, she's found 600 paintings so far.
Oh.
And I haven't gone through them yet.
Well, please share when you do. Thank you.
Yeah, when I have some time. Here it is.
This is Buddha Buddha.
Oh, okay. It's called Dharma. What's it called? It's big. I think it's really high res. There you go. Anyway, we're playing around with new images of Lord Buddha and Tsongkhapa. I'll show you one. Okay, any other question? Mr. Joel. Happy birthday. Oh, that was yesterday.
Thank you, Geshe, and thanks everybody. Just a question about how to deal with and plant seeds with the reasonable devils that you mentioned. You know,
We talked about reasonable devils. It means people who say, you know, I understand you went to a retreat and you're all excited about it, but just calm down, you know. You can't run your life that way. You have responsibilities, you know. You can't do all that, you know. So how do you deal with those people? I can give you normal advice, which is devil advice, or I can give you like the Diamond Cutter Sutra. This morning, I came down here at 5 and worked on the internet, and I was thinking what to call the Kamalashila course. And in the Diamond Cutter Sutra that we're going to cover this course, the student, what's his name? Subhuti, he starts crying in the middle of the sutra. He starts crying. And I thought it was so beautiful. I thought to call the course Arya's Tears, the tears of an Arya, because it says, there's an expression, it's called the tears of the Arya, and they talk about that in the sutra, the tears of the Arya. And then somebody asked him why he's crying, and he says, there's nothing reasonable in this whole sutra. I like it. You mean there's no normal advice? You know, it's not like, you know, try to be nice to them, or maybe change your hairstyle, or, you know, there's nothing like that. Every single verse, Buddha says what he really wants to say, which is, use the 4 steps, use the 4 steps, use the 4... He doesn't say anything but emptiness. No, there's not one normal advice in the whole sutra. So, fix them, you know, which means try to catch yourself being reasonable. Because they're coming from you. So, you have a small tendency somewhere inside of you, like a vein running through a stone. There's a small tendency somewhere to think that all this is not very practical. And then attack that, and they will change. See, then you don't have to change your relationship with them. They will just slowly change to being friends who talk about seeds all the time. Okay? Cool. That's the real answer. Then lesser, you know, Hinayana answer would be, you know, try to move closer to Tina's house, and, you know, stuff like that. You can do that also. You ready?
thank you, Geshe.
You're welcome. We're playing with something like that. I don't know. For Tsongkhapa. But what I mean is, maybe we can change what we think is a Buddhist painting, you know. Maybe we can paint the Buddha in many different ways. Okay? That's my godson, actually. Okay. All right. One more question, I think.
Hi, Geshe.
Hi.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
Earlier, when you talked about surrounding ourselves with those who, or not to surround ourselves with those who have the same bad habits or weaknesses as we do, what if we do surround ourselves with those with the same bad habits and weaknesses? Are we helping them, serving them by helping ourselves too, to remove those bad habits as well?
Yeah, that's why he said, Rang re sem la temba top. Just the last sentence, he said, Rang re sem la temba top. Rang re means us guys. Sem means our mind. Temba means well established in our worldview. Well established in our worldview. So if you can hold on to it, and hang out with your old friends. That's okay, because then you're helping them. So that's best, if you can do it. But be reasonable about how much you can do. You know, like don't... I keep thinking about it, alcoholics, you know, they tend to look for friends, or people who can't stop using drugs, they tend to make friends with people that are using drugs. And after they become Buddhists, they say, I'm going to fix them, you know. Then they go out with their friends and they end up doing drugs. You see what I mean? So just be honest with yourself about how much you can, how strong you can be. If you can be strong and affect them, that's best. Yeah, that's best.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let's do yoga. Maybe. Oh, what's next? Yuja. Right? Not yochao, yoga. Your hearing is something. Yeah? Is it next? Yes. She said, oh yeah. Okay. Thank you for being so sweet. It's a really unusually sweet group, and I enjoy it. I enjoy going deeper. All right.